Welcome to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, championing the unsung heroes of business, accountants.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. I'm Ed Kless, and with me today is Genie Whitehouse. Genie is a CPA and the president of the ITA, the Information Technology Alliance, the founder of the Impactful Advisor, and a consultant to wineries in Napa Valley. Genie's resume includes roles at top 100 and niche accounting firms, accounting software developers, consulting and advisory practices, and private industry. In her role at the ITA, she has a mandate to help lead members through an unprecedented era of change, growth, and transformation in the accounting and technology sectors, from ongoing staff shortages to private equity investment in firms to the swift entry of generative AI across sectors. Welcome back to the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast, Genie Whitehouse.
Thank you so much, Ed. You're scaring me with that stuff you just read. It's a scary time to be in the profession. There's so much coming at us so quickly.
There is truly. And, I think Barry Melanson said at one of the conferences I was at last year, I believe it was the Engage, he said that the pace of change will never be slower again.
That's right.
So what is your latest thinking on, folks in the accounting profession across the technology sector as well, and how they can continue to evolve and end up creating more value for those that they serve, their clients and customers?
I think at the end of the day, the main thing is that we have got to become more curious. And that means seeking out alternative solutions for our clients, asking our clients better and deeper questions about what it is they care about and where they're struggling in their own businesses. And then we need to be going out in the world and finding solutions that we can bring back for those clients. And I think it's shocking, Ed, that when you go to events, and I speak at events all over the world now, to see how few people are at the events. And the ones we go to, you see the same group of people at all the events. So we have an informed, hungry group of people who go to everything. And then we have some people that go to one or two events or one every year. But then where's the rest of the other 800,000 people that are in the accounting profession? Where are they going to learn and to evolve? And that terrifies me, that we have all these people who are blind to all the opportunities that are out there and all the innovation that is available. And that's one aspect of blindness. But the other big thing is that we're not getting in front of the client enough to know what they're struggling with so that we can continue to help them do whatever they're trying to do.
It's interesting as you're saying that maybe it's even one thing worse than that, and that is the people who attend these conferences and gain this knowledge and insight, then they come back to their organizations and they're thought of as crazy people.
That's right. You're the radical. We're out in that radical lane with Jody Padar and getting, it's too scary and it's a radical evolution. But you find in the bookkeeping community that those are business owners who are going out learning stuff and implementing it versus the CPA profession where we're going and learning stuff. And as you said, that's too hard. I'm not going to do it, but it's a cool idea,
Yeah.
And so we never get around to doing it because we're so consumed in doing the stuff that is low value work. And everybody's saying that, but at some point you have to stop and see if what you're doing is what you really were put here on this planet to do. And I think many people are frustrated with what they're doing today.
I think that's true, and one of the challenges that you and I face, because we're let's face it, we're both out there, is the very real objection that they can put up is you and Genie and Ed, you've been screaming about this stuff for 20 years, and here we still are, and everything's okay, the sky hasn't fallen, so would you please shut up already?
That's true. I mean, it feels like we've been beating the drum, and for me, it's more about whatever's going on around us is an internal desire that I think accountants have that is not being satisfied. To me, that's been the message. You're not happy. And they haven't been happy. They've been busy. They've been billing a lot, but they're exhausted, worn out, and tired. And that hasn't changed. And so for me, it's about look inside and see if what you do is rewarding enough for you. And so then go look for tools that help make the bad stuff less awful in your daily life. Go ahead. Yeah,
I mean, there's two places we can go in this conversation. One is when I hear people, I ask people how they're doing, and they respond busy.
Yeah.
Right. And my Tourette's syndrome response to that is double your price.
Exactly. But they don't. So they have this real battle going on in their own head about, I want to take care of my client, so I'm not going to raise my prices so that they all go away. But yet I'm not doing the stuff my client really wants because I'm busy doing the crappy stuff for all these other clients. So it's this real battle, a box that we built for ourselves as a profession. And that's really what I've been beating the drum, and you have too. It's about, how do you elevate the value of what we do? How do you get more value yourself out of your day-to-day life?
Yeah.
You've got to at some point stop and ask those hard questions of yourself, but also start asking other questions on behalf of your clients and go seek opportunities to learn more.
Yeah. And we're seeing it's affecting the incoming funnel, right? Because there are fewer and fewer people who are graduating with accounting degrees, and fewer people who are going into the profession, CPA profession. I don't know if there's, so that's going to be a real problem.
Well, and it's in both professions, and the CPA profession, and I think all people who count stuff are in one bucket. The bookkeepers and accountants, we're all numbers people, but they are facing different challenges. The CPA community is not getting people to come in. The bookkeepers are all elevating what they do, and they are all slammed. So there are not enough of those, and then the accountants are not coming in. And so what's happening is the ones who are still doing things like tax filing are able right now to charge higher prices because there's nobody else that wants to do it. So we have this sort of built up demand for us, at least right now, until people start automating the work and doing it themselves. I mean, TurboTax is all over the airwaves and spending a bunch of money to tell people do it yourself. And as these tools get better, it's going to be a lot easier for them to do that.
Well, let's talk about some of our proposed ideas for solutions, because you brought up one that is really just quite easy in the sense it doesn't require going out and getting any specialized knowledge. But talk to me more about Be Curious.
That is the number one thing. So I teach accountants to do advisory work, and the number one thing that we have in our minds as accountants is we must be the answer people. We must come in with full knowledge. And I came into the wine industry as a, Franzi and a box drinker, and I'm in Napa Valley. So if I had to be the expert, I would have never gone in for a client because I don't know what the heck they do or how do you drink it or what you pronounce it or any of that stuff. And the shift that I made is my biggest value is to ask different questions. How do you do this? Why do you do it that way? What does that look like for you? What's your biggest challenge? What are you trying to accomplish at the end of the day? Why did you become a winery? The Simon Sinek why question we ask. And by asking those questions, I add value to the client. So it's about really trying to understand. If I'm a tax preparer and all I'm focused on is the general ledger and getting it into the tax form, I'm not bringing any curiosity to bear on that client situation. But if I look at that general ledger and go, wow, what is this weird thing that says, website design or whatever? And why are they spending 10 times more than my other 150 winery clients? And I start just taking 5 more minutes to be curious about how does that work and why are they doing that? Then I could start shifting the relationship with the client and really help them, which at the end of the day, I think that's why we accountants are in this business, to make a difference.
And Genie, as you know, we have an exit question that we ask all of our guests, and that is, who is a hero of yours and why are they a hero?
I think my dad is a hero, my hero. He passed away in 2001. He always made me feel safe and never made it seem like there was anything I couldn't do as a girl. So there are 2 girls and 2 boys in my family, 4 kids, and we were all treated equally. We each had to learn how to throw a baseball and, all the sports together. And he really made me feel like anything was possible.
And lastly, Genie, how can somebody contact you?
They can reach me at Genie, Geni, at evenanerd.com. That's evenanerd.com.
All right. Genie Whitehouse, president of the ITA, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Ed.
Review and subscribe by searching your podcast player of choice for Sage Thought Leadership Podcast.